to reload in cover, I can actually shoot through that wall and possibly hit him and kill him. You can also, shoot through wooden floors and stuff like that to shoot a guy that's on a floor below you, or shoot through the ceiling at a guy above you. And it really helps a lot because you're going to see stuff where normally you'd see a sniper guy. He takes a shot, he misses, he ducks, he kind of pops out again. Well, this time, normally he's under cover when he ducks. But now with Call of Duty 4 and their ballistic physics, you can actually see a guy duck behind cover, and then you can actually shoot through that cover and kill him still. So it kind of evens the playing field a little bit. The second map is called Overground, and this is also set in Russia, and it's a very open map, sort of out in kind of a farm. And there's two bridges. There's a stone bridge and a wooden bridge, and there's a bunch of little houses as well, including a two-story house. And really, it's a very open area. It's a great place for snipers because if you actually pick up a sniper rifle when you start the game, you'll be in a ghillie suit, which is a suit that's basically covered in grass. So when you see this guy in the grass, he's pretty much invisible. And it's pretty awesome because you can be, if you want to be a sniper, you don't have to be that guy who's in the second story floor shooting down on people. You can actually be in the grass, basically waiting like a snake for some guy to come by, and then you can pop him. The third map is called Crash, which kind of is a Black Hawk Down feel to it. It's set in the Middle East. It's sort of in an urban area, and in the center of the map, there's a big open space, and there's a crashed helicopter. And the helicopter is actually split in two, and you can actually go inside the helicopter, which is great for getting cover. And also, if you love using C4, which some of us, I personally do, you can actually throw some C4 charge inside the inside of the helicopter, wait for somebody to walk by it, and just blow them up. 2 shots, 3 shots is all it takes to down somebody. So you really have to be careful about where you're positioned, and keep yourself on the move and using cover a lot, and using your one smoke grenade to give yourself a little bit of safety to obscure somebody's view, because all it takes is a couple of shots, and that makes all the fighting very fast. Fortunately, there's an instant respawn in almost all of the modes, so as soon as you die, you'll get a kill cam view. You can see how somebody killed you, which is great because if somebody's camping somewhere, you'll actually see where they are, so when you respawn, you know where that guy is, and you can tell your friends they can go after him, or you can just avoid that spot where he's hiding out at, which does force people to move quite a lot more than they would in most first-person shooters. But when you respawn, the idea is that they want to put you right back in the action, so you'll spawn next to an ally, and it's almost like your reinforcements. So you spawn as far away from the action as possible so that you're not in instant danger, but as close to a friend as you can, so you never are alone. You won't respawn and just go, oh, I'm on the wrong side of the map, or where did all my friends go? You're always going to be with your friends when you respawn, which is a really helpful thing and makes you feel like you're part of a team. There are 4 game modes. There's Team Deathmatch and Free-for-all, which are essentially the same thing, except one's everybody for themselves, and 1 or 2 sets of teams. Up to 12 people right now can play against each other in the beta, and most people are probably going to be playing Team Deathmatch. The Team Deathmatch is pretty fun. It goes up to a score of 750, and you get points for a lot of different things. You get 10 points if you kill somebody. You get 2 points if you assist, which means you do any amount of damage to somebody and they're injured and somebody else kills them. So you do get credit for that. You get a lot of points if you destroy an enemy helicopter. In fact, you get 250 points for doing it. And so there are a lot of different ways to get points, mostly by killing people and, of course, avoiding dying because you're giving the other team points. So there's a time limit of 10 minutes, but also if you reach that point max before then, your team will win, and you get experience points. And experience points in Call of Duty 4 are very important because they help level you up. And as you level up, you're going to open up new game modes, you're going to open up new weapons, you're going to open up new attachments for your weapons, and you're going to open up new perks that you can use when you create a class. The other team objective game modes are Search and Destroy, which is basically the old school Counter-Strike where there's a bomb that one team is trying to plant and the other team is trying to either kill all the other members or defuse the bomb once it's planted. And on each map, there's going to be 2 different points where they could plant the bomb. So it does kind of keep the other team guessing. They can't defend just one point. And in fact, you can use strategy. You can actually send 5 of your guys all to point B and make the enemy think that you're planting the bomb there, while one guy just sneaks around to point A and plants the bomb on the other side of the map. The one thing about Search and Destroy, it's the only map that doesn't allow respawns. So your life is really precious because it still only takes a couple of hits for you to die, but once you die, you're just a spectator. And that will get a little bit frustrating for some, especially those who really suck. So you do have to be a little bit more cautious. You can't be quite as much going run and gun as you would in the other modes. And the last mode is Domination, which is probably my favorite mode. Domination has 3 different capture points spread out in the map, and basically both teams are trying to secure those capture points, and you just need to get near the flag, stand there for 10 seconds or whatever it is to fill it up, and then you just have to defend it. And the thing is that there's only 6 people on each team, and there are 3 points. So you really get spread thin quickly, and so it requires a lot of strategy both in trying to capture points and also trying to defend those points. Now, one of the great things about Call of Duty 4 is that it does have this really deep experience system. And as you're leveling up, you're going to unlock new stuff for your weapons. So you're going to have a lot of different challenges with specific weapons, like kill 25 people with an AK-47. And once you do that, you'll unlock a new scope for your AK-47. Same thing with the MP5, same thing with pretty much all of the weapons. And then there's other challenges such as, can you destroy a helicopter? Can you call in an airstrike? Those things all earn you extra experience points, and sometimes you'll unlock new skins for your weapons, stuff like that. So you can really have these really nice personal weapons that sort of talk to how much you've played, with the shotgun, because you love it so much and it's really tricked out. So the other good thing about earning experience is that you earn perks, and for your class that you create, you can choose 3 different perks. And perks will be things like having a 2-shot RPG, having C4, which C4 is you can throw it out onto anything and you can detonate it. And you can even switch to your weapon, double tap, reload, and then detonate it remotely. So you don't have to be just walking around with the detonation trigger waiting to do it. You can actually go out and fight and even detonate it from the other side of the map if you feel like it. So other perks will kind of help the power of your weapons. Like there's a perk called Deep Penetration, which will allow bullets to travel faster through objects. So it helps you if you're somebody who loves shooting through walls. Deep Penetration is really going to help because your bullet's going to come through that wall with greater velocity and will hurt people more. You can also just have straight up stopping power, which is more bullet damage. You can add more health to yourself, which basically means it'll take somebody 1 extra shot to kill you. You can also do a perk which probably is going to be a favorite of a lot of people, called Last Stand. And Last Stand means that if you're basically dead, you'll be frozen in place, you take out your pistol, and you can just keep shooting. You can keep shooting as long as you can manage until an enemy gets 1 bullet into you. So it just takes 1 shot to kill you, but in that time you have a chance to take out other enemies, which is great because somebody could have hit you, you're stuck there, you get out your pistol, and right as they're coming up towards you, you're lying on the ground, and you just get a few shots into them and you take them down as kind of like one last resort. You also get a bonus for doing well during a game. So once you get 3 kills in a row without dying, you're going to be able to call in a UAV, and that's basically a floating satellite that can look down and has a radar for your enemies. So it'll show where your enemies are. Lasts for about 30 seconds or so, but it's very helpful because normally your enemies only show up on the radar when they're firing, but this way they're stuck there, so you can really organize and plan out your attack. Once you get 5 kills in a row, then you can call in an airstrike. And an airstrike will bring up a map of the whole level, and then you basically choose where you want the strike to go. Now, if somebody's called up the UAV so that they can actually see where everybody is, you'll know exactly where to target. And as an enemy, when you hear an airstrike called in, you actually hear the planes coming in before they come and drop the bombs. So you just see people scattering trying to get under cover because obviously if you're in a building, you're going to be safe. But if you're out in the open, you're probably going to get blown up. And all of those kills, by the way, go to the person who called the airstrike. So not only are you, getting your kills for shooting people, but if your airstrike kills people, you get those points too. When you get to 7 kills in a row, you get your final bonus in a game, which is you can call in a support helicopter, which is just brutal. The support helicopter is AI manned, and it just flies around the area shooting people with a machine gun. It's very hard to take down. In fact, there's only 2 smart ways to take down one of these babies, and that's to shoot it with an RPG or to fire at its tail wing, because you take out the tail wing and it'll just spin out of control and blow up. The good thing is you get 250 experience points for blowing up a helicopter. The trouble is it's really difficult to do, and very often nobody does it. And the helicopter will stay around for about 2 minutes just killing people, so you just see your score slowly racking up if you manage to actually call in the helicopter. What's great about all of these things is that UAV, the airstrike, and the helicopter force people to change their strategies.